Hell, mama. You know, we always live, baby.
A hero's only as good as their weapon. I don't have my sword on me.
All right. I think that's long enough. Welcome, good evening, and happy Halloween, everybody. As you can all see, we are all in character tonight. To my immediate left, there is, yeah.
It's Mateo for Gollum. How are you guys doing?
And
And
to
to my left, more.
my right,
Hi, I'm Josh from Metropolis. Well, I guess I'm from Olympus for today's episode. If you can't guess, I'm Hercules from Disney's Hercules from for today's episode. Matt, what's your famous character that everyone knows?
It's up and thrown up. I joined the gang. We all
See?
wear these kind of masks.
Matt
an original.
Matt dressed up as Throw Up. That's what he just said.
It might be a little hard to tell right now, but this is the beginnings of Johnny Bravo because I'm Jerry, still the Green Lantern from Oa, and this is BatYard's finest podcast on BatYard Productions.
Yeah.
What's going on,
yeah, we're
guys?
official. Holy shit.
We have a lot of fun stuff. And to start it off, we like to always do BSBS, Batman, Superman, anything pop culture, and other related news. I don't have anything really.
Oh man, I don't I got maybe some things I could pull out of my ass, but Matt, you probably have something, right?
Not really.
Okay,
Not
I'll
really.
pull it out of my ass.
I have like stuff that I've been finding lately on like YouTube.
Well, okay. Well, you sent me something, and we'll talk about this. Matt sent me the fucking Buzz Lightyear
Oh,
trailer.
that thing.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, I
Came
forgot
out
about that.
yesterday or the day before, and it looks stupid. I mean,
It looks
the animation looks cool. The animation looks great, but I'm just not a fan of not having Tim Allen play Buzz Lightyear. Like, what the fuck's
That's
that?
that's the
it's
funny
weird.
thing is, yeah. I was talking to our friend Jimmy last night about it, and he's like, "Well, this is supposed to be the real guy," and I'm like, "Doesn't mean shit." And Tim Allen's Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen
That's
Tim
Buzz
Allen
Lightyear.
stays Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, for
I
real.
don't get this. It doesn't
And,
make
like,
sense.
It's not like even Chris Evans is even emulating his voice. He just sounds like Chris Evans. Evans just sounds like a guy. He doesn't have like a
Yeah.
distinctive voice, like
He's
to
just
infinity and beyond. He's just a guy. He's like, yeah, to infinity and beyond. Like that's what it's
Oh,
gonna
they left that as a freaking thing, man. It's like they're like,
You hear him talk.
infinity
You
and
do
then-
hear him talking. He just sounds like Chris Evans. Chris Evans doesn't have the
It
distinctive
looks
voice
like
actor's
him.
voice. Yeah, it
It
looks
looks
like him
like
because
him.
it's animated. You can make him Buzz Lightyear animated look like what he's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
all I'm saying. We should make Woody look like Woody Harrelson to scare the little kids for Halloween.
Oh my god, I don't like that. They
Don't
should
be
make Woody
hiding.
look like Tom Hanks. I'd be more down for that. That would be cool. What if Woody's in this movie? He lands on a planet. He lands on Earth and is just like cowboy in some stupid cameo. He's like, "Hey, partner, what are you doing on my ranch?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I landed my spaceship here," and he just flies away like some stupid shit.
That
I
would be
could see
freaking
that
awesome.
happening. No,
That would be
That'd be
great.
awesome.
that would be so dumb.
I don't care. I want to see it because now I'm like in my head. I'm like, so okay, they're doing a Buzz Lightyear thing. All right, are they going to do a Woody thing now? Are they going to have like a legit
Obviously.
Woody thing?
Oh man.
Yes,
So-
they have to.
They
I hope
have to do it.
stop.
They can't do one and not do the other.
But they had Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Like they actually had like a show back in the early
Yeah,
2000s.
early
episode
2000s.
Yeah,
of Toy Story
Buzz
2.
Lightyear did get the love.
They didn't really have
did
like
get
a
the love.
toys. They didn't have a Woody show unless you count
No.
Woody's Roundup in the movie in Toy Story 2. But that
That
was like
counts.
in the but that wasn't like a show that you could watch. It was like
It
it
counts.
existed only in universe.
Unless you count Woody the Woodpecker, but that's a bird.
Yeah, that's a bird. Exactly.
That counts. I'm just gonna keep saying that counts.
I guess the only bit of news that I actually have is Ghostbusters is coming to Regal for a one-night premiere tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, the original?
Yeah, the original.
Oh, that's cool. Both of them?
I think it's just the first one.
Just the first one. Last I remember.
Matt and I saw it at Regal. When did we see it? For the 30th anniversary? That was like 2 years ago?
It was
2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it in theaters. That was pretty cool. That was definitely worth a watch, like in theaters. I never seen like that movie in a big screen. Like that was always like a movie on my bucket list. I wanted to see on big screen, and also Back to the Future. That's like another one I want to see.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to do Back to the Future again. Yeah. They keep bringing it back here and there.
I know. I missed out on that.
We saw the Superman one though.
We saw Superman the movie. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I was shitting my pants. I got goosebumps on my fucking arms. Oh man, I was in it.
You gotta show us the guns.
You're just a boss.
I don't know where to lean to.
He's just like the toy. He's just like the toy in the movie.
There it is. But no, I was super pumped for Superman the movie, especially with the
Williams
score. That was awe-inspiring. Oh,
that was during December because they were doing. That was it. Yeah. That one was during December because it was winter, and I was still hunting for Christmas presents.
Oh,
the illustrious
I remember that
Christmas gifts.
I remember. I think that year. Oh man, that sucks. I hate Christmas.
Oh,
I'm
God.
more of a Halloween person. If you can't already tell.
Let's keep extending. Fuck Christmas.
Just let's have Halloween last like 3 months.
I'd be down for that.
Lasted longer. Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past me. No. Just go.
This was something I wanted to ask you, Matt. So
what
the fuck was the movie called? I already forget. The Demon. What was the movie we watched with Steven, Jerry? What was that movie?
Night of the Demons.
Night of the Demons. Did you watch Night of the Demons?
I knew I was fucking forgetting something. I knew I was fucking forgetting something.
You're supposed to watch that.
I know.
That was a dope movie. You gotta watch that one.
I know. I was
like that. That was actually. I was like watching.
I was literally watching Hellraiser, and I said I gotta watch 2 movies, and I watched Hellraiser, and then my job picked up. For all you people out there, I'm working from home right now, so I'm fucking losing.
No excuses, man.
So, but it's annoying. So now my work picked up in the afternoon when I was watching planning to watch more of these movies. So I was okay, and I fucking forgot. I'm not joking. No, I'm going to watch this movie because I know we're gonna have this gentleman on sometime again somewhere down the road.
Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to mention that is because he did want to do the sequel at some point. So the sooner you watch that, the sooner we could do the sequel and we could Steven back.
I'll watch it this weekend. I need a plan. I'm planning it. I'm watching it this weekend.
Watch it on Halloween. That would actually be a good movie to watch on Halloween.
It's actually a good movie.
Yeah. And I do recommend watching the Real Ghostbusters episode that you skipped out on.
All right.
Yeah. You owe us fucking ice cream from Stewart's. We agreed on that.
Yeah, exactly. And a Blueberry World gig.
We're all supposed to be eating those on here too. So
Blueberry World. Oh, that was another thing. Matt, I don't know if we mentioned this on the podcast. I know we mentioned it like on a phone call. Matt asked his aunt and your grandma, right, if they had Pep cereal, and they confirmed that they had it, right?
Yes.
What is it like? What did they explain?
They said
Elaborate,
it was.
Matt.
So basically, what it was is like Kix cereal. So like, there's little balls of corn pop, like basically a corn pop
Yeah.
ball. That's what it was, and that's all you do. You just customize this damn cereal to your liking. So they said
With
that
a
it made it.
spoonful of sugar and peaches to make a peach
Yeah.
rocket.
Yeah, the peach
Mhm.
rocket. What was it? They had some pyramid one too. I forget what that was.
You
Yeah.
gotta watch them all again to get them all.
Oh man, you gotta collect them. Well, so since you mentioned Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters is coming out like in 2 weeks.
That's next month. Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
that's next
so
month.
I think it's like the
no, it is
14th
next
or-
month. It's like the 12th. It's like one of the 10s. I want to say the 12th or the
Well,
It's one of the teens.
yeah, or the preteen.
It's in there somewhere.
I
It's
feel
floating
like
in the middle.
we do have to do an episode on that movie.
Oh
We
yeah,
have to
we
do
have
it
to.
out of
It's a
respect.
thing.
And we have to
Yeah,
talk shit about it. Heavy shit.
I don't want to
yeah.
talk shit about it. I want to talk
November
good shit.
19th. November 19th it comes out.
Oh, it's the end of the teens.
Okay, cool.
So we got some time, you know.
We do.
We got
We got like 3 weeks.
yeah. So
But
I don't know. Look forward to that.
what?
I hope it's
Last podcast, me and Jerry did drop this. Our Academia's new movies coming out literally tomorrow. Jerry, what is the deal?
So the deal is the opening weekend. If you go see it, you get 2,500 credits on Regal, and allegedly there's a special edition manga for it that I think is only available opening weekend. So if you would like to add some new manga or My Hero collectibles to your collection, go opening weekend because I know I am.
Oh, okay.
That
I was
thing
about to
is,
ask you
I
guys.
was being cheap, and I didn't get this deal. And me and my friends from work purchased our tickets for Tuesday. So I'm gonna try to I'm gonna see if I can try to get any collectibles from the weekend they still have any floating around still. If not, I'm gonna be asking Jerry if I can buy them.
I'm literally just gonna go in the theater and say, "Hey, y'all have any My Hero collectible stuff?" and just walk the fuck out.
When are you guys going? Are you guys going tomorrow, or are you guys when?
I might go tomorrow, but I also have tickets for Tuesday because I have friends that want to see it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I got tickets for Tuesday because I don't want to be that guy that already see the movie. So I'm just gonna stick with the Tuesday. Jerry's gonna rock
You're
out.
not
He's
gonna
the
get
bigger
the free
fan.
stuff, though. You're not gonna get
Jerry's
the
the bigger fan.
stuff.
And I'm gonna get it and just rub it in Matt's face. I'm gonna just send him like a corner screen, like a picture every time. Like, oh man, what the fuck
It's
is
like our
this?
Konosuba game, huh? This is what we're doing,
Yeah,
huh?
it
It's
is.
just gonna be the
It is.
It's just like Konosuba, huh? I get a 4-star Union or Wiz, and you get the 3-star Cosmo. That's all you're gonna get.
Just wait. You're gonna get the fucking Christmas Aqua, and I don't want to hear you say shit.
I'm gonna delete that character. I'm deleting it.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think there was something else pop culture related I heard about, but I can't remember what. I think that might be it.
I don't know. For me right now, this show has been going around for almost a year now. It looks like Hello Boss. I've been seeing on Instagram everywhere now. For some reason, because it's Halloween time, people are just throwing it around because it's a show about 3 imps that have a business and they have to go kill other people from Earth that these people that died that went to hell want revenge on. And they do have a hellhound buddy, assistant / adopted daughter character.
It's weird.
It's a weird show. There's only technically 7 episodes out there, counting the pilot. but it's freaking awesome. The animation looks dope. If you're a big fan of Invader Zim, voice actor for Zim is in it. He plays a decent character, actually. I kind of actually enjoy him. I thought it would be like more of a character I would not be enjoying, but every character in the show has a big impact of like their or not just the funniness what they bring.
And if you need more reason to watch it, if you were a fan of The Walking Dead, they got Norman Reedus to come in for an episode.
Did they? Which episode?
I think it was episode 4 or 5. It was pretty early
Was he the snake?
on.
Was he the snake? No.
No, not the snake.
Mm.
And then they also have another kind of big name YouTube star, Brendan Rodgers, who voices Blitzo. If you've seen Brendan Rodgers, you know why that fits so well.
Oh,
I agree with Matt. It's like an adult animation show without any of the censorship. It's like drawn together, but for YouTube.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a great show. It's like I'm surprised they get away with like some of the things they have on that fucking show. I'm surprised they don't get taken down for the language, the whatever they show on the animation. Like, what is the first episode? You just keep seeing this woman get fucked right in the beginning.
Oh my god!
So like, and the numerous like I don't know, the numerous pegging jokes, numerous sexual harassment jokes, every single kind of like joke that you can think of, they get away with almost.
There's a lot of innuendos.
Yes. You have to listen really closely because they actually have songs they have in the background that say certain things. And you're like, what the fuck's happening? If you haven't seen it, Josh, you gotta try it out.
It's pretty funny.
Where do I watch it?
It's on YouTube. I can send you a link after this.
Yeah, send it over to me. I'll check it out. Is it like a mini series?
They're right now. I don't know what's going on with it. It's like an episode a month.
Yeah.
Like there's some episodes they skip a month to put it out too. So it's like weird.
I'll check it out.
And then they have the Has Been Hotel. Don't know what's going on with it.
Really good. Need episode 2 or episode 1.
It's a pilot. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys. Oh wait, go ahead, Matt.
No, I was gonna say that's it for me.
Me too. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite movie of all time? Because I still don't know.
The Mask
was just a question. The Mask.
The Mask. The first one with Jim Carrey. I hate the son of The Mask.
Okay. Oh yeah, that one doesn't even count. The
Mask.
No.
It did a lot of really good, special effects to bring scratch and stretch cartoons into, a 3D real life movie. And honestly, it was funny start to finish. I'm a Jim Carrey fan. And who doesn't like Jim Carrey?
I don't know.
Don't
put your fucking hand. Put your hand down.
So Matt, what about you? What's your favorite movie?
I don't know. I have a bunch of favorite movies, but like, I don't know. I'll say basically the first Godzilla movie is my favorite.
The first Godzilla was
1954.
Really good.
It's really good. It's a really good movie.
I didn't know that was your favorite.
It's actually basically I watched that multiple times. I'll say that, and then second would be like if I had to go off of like multiple viewings. Holy shit! It'd be like second one would have been like Jurassic Park Lost Worlds, but my favorite would be my second because I watched this so many fucking times.
Oh man!
For some reason, it would be the only. For some reason, it was only VHS that we had of Jurassic Park that I could find. For some reason, I don't know what happened to the first one. So
first one's definitely.
I would always bring that. Well, the first one's definitely my favorite out of the series, but for some reason, like that's if I count viewings, That has a lot
Yeah,
of.
it doesn't
freaking
matter how
viewers.
many times. Like what it matters on like your
No, yeah,
entertainment
no,
value.
definitely it was
Not
still
like
my
how many times
favorite.
you've seen a movie. What do you like the best?
No, definitely still is gonna be like good as Godzilla 1954 movie. Oh, first one. So I actually enjoy that one the best. That is my favorite.
Gorilla
What about
Whale?
you, Josh?
Wow, I'm glad you
He has so many. He has
Oh,
so many. It's hard.
my favorite is probably Back to the Future. That's probably my favorite. So that's why I really want to see that on the big screen. That's
Back to the Future is a close second because I watched that a lot
really.
and it has a special place in my childhood.
Yeah, same here. It was like always like a movie I would watch as a kid. And I met Leah Thompson. That was cool. She touched my
Ooh,
shoulder.
I remember that day.
Yeah,
I
man.
remember that day.
nice.
I remember that. Josh was acting like he didn't know how to use his phone camera, and he was trying to take. He took 1,000,000 photos. He paid for one fucking photo. He stuck in a video and a fucking 20 photos,
Yeah,
and then he got back in line.
she was nice. She was a nice person. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're
Shoulder.
filming. We're at Boston Con. Let's fill in the gaps here. We're at Boston Con. I would say this is like 2017 or 18. It was
Yeah, I
a
think
few
it was
years
18.
ago,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was me, you, Dan, and my uncle Chris. We're running around, and then we just found the panels, and you're just like, I'm going, and he just took all his photos. We all separated. Josh was still filming there. Best thing that Josh ever said to me is Jason Momoa was there, and Josh was like filming, and he captured Jason, and he was zooming in. He said, Josh was like, he noticed me, and he pointed right at the camera like I did something wrong.
He didn't point at me, but he looked at me, and I was just trying to get B-roll, and I was like, oh look, Jason Momoa is right here. You could find the video somewhere on YouTube, but well, on our page.
It'll be on the page.
Yeah, but he looked directly at me, and he looked like he wanted to stab me with like he had daggers for eyes. I'm like, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That was pretty scary. I don't want Aquaman to murder me.
No.
So,
And I remember losing Dan because Dan wore his damn Spider-Man hoodie. And everybody at a con, yeah, how many Spider-Mans are there?
everyone's
I don't know,
Spider-Man.
maybe one,
Everyone's
two.
Spider-Man.
No,
Everyone.
Everyone.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna lose my uncle.
Spider-Man
No,
probably
we
the
lost him.
common con costume. That and
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm tired of seeing Deadpool.
Yeah, I kind of hate Deadpool now. I kind of hate him. I'm pretty sick of Deadpool.
I'm getting sick of the Spider-Mans. I'm sick of the Spider-Mans and the Deadpool because Deadpool, everybody has their own little thing they add to them, and Spider-Man's just like, yeah, I'm this other suit. I'm this other suit.
Yeah,
one.
I guess. I don't know. I
They
have
don't
more
really- I don't
admiration
see that
for
money.
Spider-Man than Deadpool. I
And then
like
I
the
get-
character better than Deadpool.
I don't know. I just
We don't
enjoy
get that
seeing these
many
randoms.
Spider-Men down here for our cons. It's always
Oh, really?
it's like 500 Deadpools.
Huh. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like people who dress up as Deadpool, they give themselves the excuse to act like a jerk, like act like an idiot, and then
Basically.
they're like super obnoxious, and you're just like, all right, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk to you.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
It's like, what are you doing? I'm not really a big fan of Deadpool. I gotta say, I'm not. I like the concept of the character. I just find him annoying. I'm sick of Ryan Reynolds. He's fucking everywhere. I'm not really a fan of Ryan Reynolds. Like that fucking Free Guy movie. Did you see that? I didn't see
I
it.
still need to
looked
see
like
it.
didn't
crap.
see it.
I know what happens in it. I know what happens at the
crap.
end.
I don't want to watch it. It looks like a movie I would not like.
It's not a Josh movie. It is not.
Yeah, no.
It's not a Josh movie. It's a more of. I can't even take you there high or drunk because you're still gonna be like, fuck
I
this.
hate this.
Fuck all of this. Why'd you take me to this stupid movie? I'm trying to be high and drunk. I'm trying to have a fun time. I'm not trying to be having a shit time. I'm trying to have fun.
I can only mask my enjoyment for movies, even though if I'm using other substances, I'm still like, oh, this still sucks. So, oh man, I don't know how you guys feel about Ryan Reynolds. I'm sick of seeing him.
I
He's all right.
him. I've been
He's
liking the
guy.
older him more than the newer him, like the when he was younger. Ones,
Well, newer
like
him
those
would be
days.
him when he was younger.
I
Now he's
know.
older. So now he's old.
Yeah. Yeah. So him as young him, I didn't like that much. But now him is actually I'm kind of enjoying now for some reason. I was like, he's actually doing characters that fit him more than just trying to do something else. I don't know.
I don't know. I just see
All I can
Ryan
say
Reynolds
about
for every role I see him is just Ryan Reynolds. I never see him as that character. Besides maybe Deadpool. That's like the only one because he's wearing a mask. you don't see his face. What
Oh, I liked him in the
Ryan
body.
Reynolds.
The movie, the bodyguard one? The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
actually enjoyed him in them.
I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one?
I didn't
No.
even hear of it.
It's not a bad series. It's pretty good.
Nice. Anybody got anything else before we move on?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, tell us what our topics are, my friend.
All right. So first off, we're going to go back to the early 2000s with the Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Jacked Up Halloween, and Matt, I actually want you to take this one.
Okay, so basically this episode is Billy and Mandy Jacked Up Halloween. It's basically a story of it's a Halloween that's happening, and Billy and Mandy and Grimm are going on their little adventure, and Mandy is doing some Shakespearean costume, so she's using Grimm's head as the skull and walking around with it, and Billy improvised, so he just ran in the house, just grabbed a big ass hoodie, and said, "I'm going as the Grim Reaper," and grabbed Grimm's scythe without asking. He says, "I'm taking this." And he's like, "You know the rules. No fucking with my. That's a real scythe. Don't fuck with it." And they go on their way, and they keep going to house and to try and do like all this stuff. And Grimm ends up telling them the story about why they do trick and what's the importance of the trick, because there was a guy, they do a flashback thing. There's a guy named Jack that used to pull pranks on everybody, and finally Grimm they finally kill him in a way because they got tired of his shit, and Grimm was there to go collect his soul, and the guy's like, "All right, I'm gonna play tricks on you, get away with it," and wins kind of, and they make a deal with Grimm that he gets immortality. So Grimm says, "I'll pull a trick on you," cuts his head off. Later, that man gets a jack-o'-lantern as a head. He becomes Jack-o'-lantern, and he lives in a house that's been there since like the beginning of the town, basically forever. No, I don't understand how nobody noticed this fucking house in the middle of the town. And I want to know where the castle went to. There was a castle in their town.
Yeah, there was a queen,
and now it's just gone.
Or
Yeah.
Endsville, yeah.
And it's just gone. Everything's just gone except this one fucking house because it's important to the story. So knowing everybody, Billy and Mandy separate, and Billy ends up going to that one house that's actually Jack's house and tries to get candy from it. Ends up fucking up with the wrong guy and says, "Oh, I'm actually the Grim Reaper," and he ends up giving Jack-o'-lantern the scythe because he said, "This is a real scythe from the Grim Reaper." And he's like, "Well, I want that." So he takes it by doing a trick to Billy and summons a pumpkin army to take revenge on Grimm because he wants to chop his head off because he lost his own head. And once you chop the rule is if you chop someone's head off with a scythe, the Grim Reaper scythe, you can never put your head back on. So he's going to try to keep Grimm's head off forever. But I love the part when Billy's just like, "Don't you know Grimm's head's detachable already?" And he keeps pulling it on and off. But keep going on further and further. Grimm ends up getting free. They end up stopping Jack and sending him into a portal because they end up getting free and all this stuff's happened because Mandy sets up a booby trap of tricks and to set up a thing for was it the confuse and distract the jack-o'-lantern and so they can get Grimm free. But what's that one kid's name? Their friend Irwin. He throughout this whole episode, he's been trying to have a good costume for Mandy, and he keeps failing. Finally,
he's not scary
he shows
enough.
up. No, he's not scary. And he finally shows up in a knight's outfit, and he's scaring the shit out of Jack-o'-lantern for some awful reason. This knight is really scary to him. I kind of want to know the backstory of that because they never talk about it. And finally, they end up finding out it's Irwin, and he's going through all the booby traps, and is making him laugh and kills the whole pumpkin squad that he summoned. And when Grimm gets free, and he sends him up into the portal to the freaking underworld, and he's playing tricks with everybody in hell. Meanwhile, Irwin's all basically he should be like 10 times dead, but he's not. Let's just leave it at that. And that's basically how the story ends. Of them sending back the prankster god, if you want to call him that, because he can't die, Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
Leave something out.
They do explain the night.
Do they explain the night? I don't remember.
So the queen sent a night because they remember the town pranked the queen using Jack's name, and so the knight stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were trying to figure out the knight's backstory. I'm like, yeah, that would be cool to figure out his backstory.
No,
you just weren't watching the episode. You were busy playing fucking PS4 at that point while you're watching the episode.
No. No, I was actually for some reason I forgot why the jack-o'-lantern was Jack was scared of the night for some reason. I thought
it was the backstory.
I know it was. I remember the queen part, but I thought it was the whole town that got him, not the freaking night.
Yeah,
the night got him in the back.
She sensed the night. Yeah, yeah. That was kind of interesting with the backstory because with that part, like at that point, you might as well have the townspeople kill Jack. You know, why even send a present to the queen and then send a knight? Like you could just have the whole mob just raid his house, just stab him in the back, basically. You know, at that point, they don't really need the knight, but the knight is a good visual, and then it connects to Irwin's costume at the end, and then he bumbles and falls and gets stung by bees and electric eels and whatever else, slammed in the face by pies, and then all the ghouls and ghosts.
It's all pumpkins.
They laugh themselves to death. Well, they're all spirits that possess pumpkins, so they're not actual pumpkins. So they laugh themselves to death, and then they go back into the underworld, or so they kill themselves with laughter, and that's how they defeat what's his name, Jack-o'-lantern. That's his
Jack-o'-lantern. That's his official
name.
And I really liked the voice of Jack-o'-lantern. I was like, oh, that voice sounds so familiar. What is that voice? And then I looked it up. It's Wayne Knight from, if you guys don't know who Wayne Knight is, he's famous for Newman in Seinfeld, and also he plays Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park. So I was like, what the fuck? Wayne Knight?
That was him?
Yeah, and I was after I figured out it was him, I was like, oh, it does sound like him, but it fit the character so perfectly. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. That was a good casting choice. And I was really happy to say, oh yeah, it's Wayne Knight. That's cool, Or you could say from his most famous role was Mike from Space Jam, Michael Jordan's stooge.
Is that really his famous role?
That's his most famous role.
No, you're
I don't
shitting
even
me.
remember his fucking name in that movie.
I was gonna say you're shitting me. No way that's his famous role.
No, it's
There's no.
definitely Seinfeld.
I know.
So, Josh, how do you feel about the episode?
Okay, so a little context for this show, The Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy, like all together. I would watch it like from here to here, but I never really got like in depth with the show. Like I would like watch an episode here and there, but I wasn't like, oh, I gotta watch every episode, or like, oh, this is on. This was like a
Really?
show I had to watch. No, I liked it, and I think I realized why I didn't really watch it like religiously as a kid when I was watching this episode. But I really liked it. I really loved this episode. I loved the whole Halloween theme, and I like how Grimm. Oh, Grimm is my favorite character out of all of them. He's like almost a straight man. You know, he hates the kids.
He's everyone's favorite.
He absolutely
He's
despises
everyone's
kids.
favorite.
Mandy's okay. You know, I think the reason why I didn't really like get so totally sucked in as a kid because I never had like there was never a character I could really hang my hat on. You know, like it was like there's never a character I was like I could really connect to. Like, oh yeah, that's like kind of like what I am, or that's like me. Because Billy's just too stupid and annoying. I like his character. I like how he's in there. Mandy's just so straight faced and like just stoic and like has no emotion. So like I'm like, all right, that's definitely not like me. And Erwin is just like Steve Urkel, but not as smart and more annoying almost. But I was like, I almost wish there was just like a regular kid. Like there's like a trio. There's like almost like a third kid who was just like, oh no, like you like just the like almost like kind of like Timmy Turner. You know, like how Timmy Turner's just like an average kid. You know, so like anyone could project themselves on that kid. Like with the Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy, like Billy's just too stupid. And Mandy is just too straight faced. And I guess like Grimm is supposed to be like the you know the middle character, like not the the straight face, the straight man, but he's the Grim Reaper. So I'm like, okay, well, like he's the one who brings all this chaos and magic into the show. So like,
But the sad thing is he really
to that,
But the sad thing is like he really doesn't do that.
Well, yeah, they bring
much
they fuck
chaos.
it.
He just like
ruined
starts something, and Billy and Mandy
with the whole scythe and everything.
And then they try to bring in these characters, these additional characters that you want to see, but that episode Billy or Mandy makes something happen to them that they never come back ever again.
Right.
It's like
it's Ennisville for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's like a detriment at all. That's just like my own personal preference. I just wish there was like a, like a straight man kid, like just like an average kid, So I'm like, all right, yeah, I can relate to that one, I think that was the main reason why I wasn't like super hooked on the show. But I do like it. I do like the show. It's not a detriment. It's just like my own personal preference,
So let me drop a little context as to why I picked this one. So I was trying to fit the theme of Hellraiser, of demons and things that go bump in the city, or things that are easily accessible to idiots. Because at any point, anybody could have went to Jack-o'-lantern and said, hey, there's this skeleton dude walking around town. And, he could have just overheard him one random day with the window open. And it was I picked it more so also because of, the subtle, like adult nuances of just violence. Like with the mob mentality of, we can kill them and be done with them. Or we can send a joke to the queen, set him up, and have her kill him, and nobody can say anything to the queen.
No
she rules the land
at that point. Mm-hmm.
And even with, Grimm severing his head, that's a confirmed, decapitation on a children's show. And it's more like, we're kids, don't think anything about it. But, watching as an adult, like, hold on.
That's true.
I didn't even think
that.
Actually witnessed, like, they went through the animation and it cut to a black screen. Like his head was severed. Even when he put the pumpkin on, he was still headless.
Yep.
And even still also, laughing yourself to death. I don't know if anyone here has watched 1,000 Ways to Die or a fan of it, but somebody actually did laugh themselves to death. And that's like, it sounds like, that's impossible, but it's like, it's a muscle. And the dude just kept laughing so hard that the muscle didn't, ever relax. So he just kept laughing until the point, his heart gave out.
I forgot that show even existed. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's probably one of the best shows on Spike when it was around.
Yeah.
And even, the very end when Jack's in hell and he's tricking and joking with the demons, they just skip the mob mentality. They all crowd around him. And, you hear them laugh and you see them just pile up and everything. And at that last laugh, all you hear is splat.
Oh, yeah. At the end. Like the very last...
like the very last, 10, 15 seconds.
They cut the black and he's in hell. It's crazy that they depicted hell too in the kids show. I mean, I guess they did that in Looney Tunes, but that's like back in the 1940s when you could get away with that stuff. And this was like when was this? Like 2002?
This is like
It was like 2004, 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This was, still early 2000s, so you could get away with it, but
right,
obviously you couldn't do something like that again.
Mm-mm.
And I think as a timepiece and the last of its era, because I haven't seen, any other cartoon do something so adult with, mutilation, death, and even, dealing with what would be infinite torture. This did something even jokingly that I've very found hard to find, another cartoon or like adult animated series do without making it some kind of comical relief. And
oh wait, go ahead.
Oh, what was that? Oh, I was going to just say, and I think that this, also speaks to Cartoon Network being in its prime of also innovation with, creative nuance in a children's show that if you were to show to an adult, they would know instantly, like, this man was obviously killed because after Jack, was assassinated by the Queen's Knight, you just see it's a stormy night. He's got the kick me sign down and it's just being stepped on and it's simulating blood, obviously. And then when Grimm comes, he still got the cleaver lance thing in his back. He pulls it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, he went up and Jack and told him, Jack, it's your time. And he didn't want to go, symbolizing I'm not ready to go when it's my time. And obviously, the pranking was making a deal with the devil or death, I guess you could say. But even then, it's like Final Destination. You can't fool or trick death because it doesn't like that.
Yeah, I'll catch up to you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I like the backstory with Jack-o'-lantern. I thought that was neat. With the town of Ennsville and he's doing all these pranks. It reminded me of the Headless Horseman, like with Ichabod Crane, like how especially like how he loses his head and like the Knight character almost reminded me of the Headless Horseman. I thought he was gonna recur, which he kind of does, but in a jokingly matter with Irwin. But I did like that. I did like the character design of Jack, like what he looked like, and he was just like all wobbly and like it definitely looked like it was like reminiscing of the Disney Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It definitely gave me that feel, but more of like a jokingly matter, like was kind of making fun of it. I did like that aspect of the episode for sure.
Matt?
Well, I actually
get these hand things right one day.
You had it for a while, and then
I'm so used to being in the middle.
I know it's weird.
I know
right?
it's
just
I know
weird.
Matt was early this time. Usually Matt's the last one.
No, with Billy and Mandy, I always loved Billy and Mandy's episodes. I always watched it every week it came out, or just kept watching it. And when you mentioned this episode, I was like, which one is it again? I haven't watched it it's been what, over like 15 years probably now
Yeah, I
since
think
I
it's been
watched a
15
Billy
years.
and Mandy episode. So when you mentioned this, I'm like, okay, it sounds familiar, but I never remembered any of the titles. I mostly remember the episodes. Just like, and I'm watching, I'm like, this episode. I remember watching, I actually enjoyed it. When I was a kid, I liked all the pumpkin stuff that was happening and all the craziness that kept on occurring. And Jack's character, like Josh was saying, like I enjoy the movements of Jack. I liked his voice. It was a neat little creepy way of doing his character, and I enjoyed like with this now when I'm older. I still enjoy the animation style they have with it too,
Yeah.
because they like to
Yeah.
bring in. They have these kind of bright color to these grim kind of continuity to it. Like it's weird. Like it kind of works with it because like the pumpkin, the jack o' lanterns are walking. They could just show like a pumpkin with blacked out like eyes and mouth, but they actually give it a weird entity of soulness to it. So it actually it's actually a living thing and moving. And like, and I'm like, I'm gonna fall into the category of the Grimm fan fave because like I actually you can't have the show without Grimm. Grimm's always been great. He's always never. I think the only one that only episode I don't like of Grimm is when he turns into a human.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a weird fucking
Oh,
episode.
That was
I
like-
never
weird.
seen that. Yeah.
That was a weird one, and I think it's like at least the first or second episode of the first season.
Yeah.
So it's like at least they got rid of that cringe moment. But like, and including in this Billy and Mandy's show, they add all these adult jokes into it too. It's kind of they keep constantly doing it. That's like how this show keeps running. So like if you're an adult or a child, you can still enjoy the show. Adults can enjoy the comedy act, like the innuendos that they do that kids won't notice, and just enjoy the stupid show that's happening. But actually, this is probably one I, at least right now, going back to it, it's probably one of my favorite episodes that I've seen. Like I remember from the Billy and Mandy series.
Now, I should say this. I was also thinking about doing the episode with the Crystal Skull because I was going to tell you to tell Nicholas to watch it because I was going to title it Monkey's Paw. Now, Josh, if you don't know, I say that Nicholas lives with a monkey's paw because
What does he have?
Nicholas has a monkey's paw. He's used
The
all
What does he
13
act-
of his
monkey
lives.
paw.
What does he
No.
actually have?
He does not have a So it's a.
What is
So
like a
Jack-
rabbit's foot?
No,
It's the opposite of a rabbit's foot.
So basically,
Rabbit
Josh,
dick.
you understand? No. Do you know what a monkey's paw is?
Yes, it's like you make a wish and then you get the repercussions of that wish if you bend one of the fingers.
So Jerry, every time I tell Jerry these stories of Nicholas, and Jerry takes from these stories, he has a monkey's paw because he gets to do something in the story, but there's so many repercussions coming out of his thing he gets to do.
That's
So
just
Jerry
Nick.
just keeps saying, "I know."
That's just how
but
Nick
he
fucks
just
himself.
keeps saying-
That's what it is.
But- So Jerry just keeps on saying he has a monkey's paw. Well, a monkey's paw still has 5 digits, so it's just an unlimited monkey's paw. It never bends the finger. If you bend the finger, it goes right back. It looks like this hand. It's an infinite monkey's paw. But now that I've been mentioning it to my mom about it, she's been going freaking crazy because she's like, don't you mention that. This is not that. We don't do that kind of voodoo stuff in this house. This is a
You
house
I
of
take
God.
offense to that.
This is
You
a house
Italians
of
with your
God.
superstitions, man.
Tell your mom I
So-
take great offense to that.
So, she would. So she's all against Jerry's monkey paw now, like setup. But But we have I'll send you this video after. There is a video actually because I told Nicholas about this, and we have the what's it called?
Alexa.
The Alexa freaking thing from Amazon.
Oh no,
So
it's listening to you.
Nicholas asked her, Alexa, what's a monkey's paw? And she just keeps going on, like not answering him. So Nick's just fed up with asking her questions. There's one part when he screams, Alexa, you bitch. And Alexa just shuts off. It doesn't.
She don't take that kind of sass.
No, it's not Siri. It's not Siri. I can curse, yell, scream, do whatever I want, basically to Siri. And Siri just says, I can't do what you want me to do. So what is your other question? No. Alexa just shuts itself off. And I literally found out Google will come back at you. Because at the end of the video we made of this monkey paw business, Nick does, hey, Google, and the TV downstairs of the house has Google Assist, and it says, how can I help you? I'm like, go fuck yourself, Google. And Google says, I will continue assisting you, but I would rather have you approach me with a better tone of voice and no foul language, please. And I'm like,
even
what?
Google shit is broke.
What the fuck is this?
That is retarded. Oh, sorry, I'm not
It's
allowed
like
to say
every
that.
TV has a person that sits in it now. It's like, oh god, what was that show?
Oh my god!
It was an animated show where they have like these. Oh, it was on Rick and Morty. Remember the episode? No, not the Mink Sinks. It's the episode of. I'm imagining this more as the episode when they what's her name? Summer wants big boobs, so they end up making her that giant monster on accident. That's inside out, and they're like, "Oh, please contact the help desk," and they're talking to the help desk like, "Oh, open the hinge in the back, and like that would help you more." And all the guys inside ran out, and that was the help desk inside the machine. I just imagine that nowadays with all these like machines. There's a little person in every single one that's now going to tell you to do that to get them out.
I'm thinking of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode where Homer gets a monkey's paw. That's what comes to mind.
No, I'm going off with like all the computer things, but I do remember that episode of the monkey's paw.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of shit.
It's a good one.
So, Nicholas, if you're watching this, when I come to New York, I'm bringing you a monkey's paw.
And a microwave because he's gonna.
I just looked up if you could buy one.
The microwave is fucking coming. Don't you worry.
Microwave.
My mom hates microwaves because they give off radiation. Meanwhile, everything else in the world gives off radiation. So we're not going to go.
I'm mailing his mom a microwave.
Yes, but last time I knew it was a box, not the microwave. So I'm kind of disappointed.
Don't worry. There's still going to be goodies in the box. Just make sure your mom doesn't fucking step on it because I'm a right fragile.
Did you actually send something?
No.
I'm in the process of it. I got to gather all my material. It's going to be like an overdue April Fool Christmas birthday thing all wrapped up in one sick present.
Oh, Matt. So do you heat stuff up in your oven? Is that how you heat your food?
Basically. Everything, even
sorry.
like the thing that's like microwave. It says microwave and everything, and like I have to take that out and like just fucking MacGyver it on a frying pan. What do you want me to do? Or if I want to eat something that's been frozen, I have to actually just literally defrost it, then do it that way. If it's like literally like the box says like 5 minutes in the microwave. No, Matt has to do the actual old-fashioned way of defrosting it and cooking it. Josh's like, fuck, you suck. Yeah, man. The microwaves, man. Yeah, they're not good. Radioactive.
They're not. They're really not. That's false.
This is more radioactive than a microwave.
Yeah, that goes...
Even Bluetooth headphones are actually worse.
Yeah, those waves are going through your ball sack.
Wow.
But getting back,
Cancer.
getting back on topic.
Yes,
Crispy.
help us.
What are your final thoughts and rating of the Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy Jacked Up Halloween?
This episode made me go back and watch more episodes, and I actually enjoy it. This is probably at least one of my favorite ones. I'll give it at least a 9 for the rating. And I don't know if this is part of this episode or was it one of the episodes I was watching further on. There's a part when Billy drops the scythe, and the scythe bounces and stabs the guy right in the ass. And the guy says, "Ah!" And it goes right up his crotch. And I'm like, how did they get away with that? How? Because it could have been A, in his ass, or A, his balls. I mean, B, his balls.
They had an
I don't know.
8-year-old shaking his naked ass on screen. They can get away with anything.
True. That was his distraction plan so Mandy can set up his her.
And he was thoroughly
prank.
distracted by an
He was.
8-year-old's ass.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone would be fucking confused if they saw that, and it's just what the fuck's happening at this moment. It's like,
It was the
but
drums.
At the same time, Jack is like, "You can't distract me. I know you're setting up those pranks," and he names all the pranks, so it doesn't matter.
Josh, final thoughts and ratings for this one?
I think I gave my final thoughts. Really, I love the animation. Matt did mention that the animation's like super simplistic, but it's like its own unique thing, and it really pops. It's like, you could differentiate every character very easily, and it almost looks like, it almost kind of reminds me of what's his name, Butch Hartman's animation, the guy who did Danny Phantom and that kind of stuff, but it's definitely like its own thing. With like the lines being super thick and like outlandish at that point. But
I think at the time of the when all those shows are coming out, everybody was doing that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Thing. Yeah, like Dexter's Laboratory is kind of like that too. So they're probably all like mimicking,
influenced by each other.
Yeah.
I mean, the Very Odd Parents was the same.
Yeah, which is the same guy. Butch Hartman did that as well. I'm not like a diehard Grimm Adventures, Billy and Mandy, but I do enjoy the show. I'll like watch it. I would definitely watch this again. I would probably give this a 7 just because there's other there's other animated like Halloween specials that I enjoy more, but I feel like the more I watch this, the more I like it. I don't think I've seen this as when I was a kid either. So this is like just me with a fresh pair of eyes, like seeing it for the first time.
What is it? This is the first season, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was first season.
Season,
like episode 24.
Was it 24?
Yeah, this was toward the later end.
I remember.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean that's a good rating. I'm closer to an 8. I'm closer to an 8 than a 6. I'll give it that.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. We've been doing a good streak.
I was expecting Josh to say like a 6.5, 7. Well, he did say 7, but I was expecting like a 6.5.
No, is it 7? That's a good rating.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting something that high.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like that's low.
No.
You should have done the episode when they meet the what's her name? I forget her name. The one the like, gap in her teeth. She's going for the golden apple.
I know what you're talking about.
Should have done that episode.
What's wrong with having a gap in your teeth, Matt?
What?
What's wrong with having a gap in your teeth, Matt?
No, I'm not saying. I'm trying to remember her name. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
She shows up like every season she's in there.
She is.
I'm just saying
So
that
for-
because I have a gap.
I wasn't gonna mention anything, okay? You did it to yourself.
Well,
So
it's
for
fairly
me,
obvious.
I've watched
what's your
all
rating?
the episodes from start to finish of the series.
Oh,
And
nice.
this one is
Dude.
always, this was always a favorite because I like, holiday themed episodes. But, it's something about this one in particular. Minus Irwin, you do have a lot of
Yeah.
chaos with Billy, Mandy, Grimm, and Jack that honestly was not going to be resolved easily because he ripped a portal in the fucking sky and was like, it's going to be Halloween forever, bitches, just like in the episode of Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
which made me think of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny how we did that back to back too. That was like my immediate thought.
And it's also like Crispy said, the animation for this was, it's very unique in and of itself. And I wouldn't change a thing about it because it's, it's grungy, but also bright. So it's like, here's a nice day here's a beautiful morning on your shittiest day kind of thing.
Oh God.
And like I said before, all of the watching this now as an adult and thinking of all the adult situations put in this, I think that also in itself speaks highly of it's a grim adventure. So what happens in grim adventures, death, mutilation, and of course other things. And how they just kind of woefully played it off like, oh, he's just an immortal spirit because they never said he had a physical body anymore. And even with the Pumpkin Army, they laughed themselves to death. He wanted to use them to get his revenge and just prank the world for the end of days. But, he got sent to hell. He tried it with the demons, but they just weren't having any of it. And they just went splat. Now, I don't know whether that would be his pumpkin head or what might have remained of his body at that point. I can't say for certain.
I want to go with the pumpkin head.
I mean, that's like Humpty Dumpty. They never said he was an egg or a human.
True. But I feel like if he did squash his body, he's immortal now. That he's like, he just goes back to being himself again.
Yeah,
other than the head.
I assume they squashed his head at the end, like when they
Yeah.
hear that big splat, because it just sounds like a pumpkin splashed,
And this is like Josh said, this is something I could go back and rewatch several times and always find a better appreciation for it. And for me, I'm going to give this a solid 8.5. I can't give it a 9 because there are episodes I like better than this one. But this one is definitely like my favorite Halloween episode out of a lot of my childhood cartoons.
Yeah.
This one and maybe Kids Next Door. I think they had a good Halloween episode.
I don't even
God,
remember.
what was that one again? I watched so much of that Kids Next Door. Shit.
Yeah, I think they had a good Halloween episode. We'll revisit that. We'll come back to that.
Right.
Yeah, next year.
Before we jump to our next segment, all right, what was your favorite Irwin costume?
The turtle.
Definitely the turtle.
Yes, same here.
Like I liked how he hid inside of his costume, and it was like he's mimicking the turtle. He did mimic like each character. Like when he was banana, he slipped on himself like a banana peel, and then when he was a turtle, he hid in his shell.
The thing that won me over with the turtle more is the tail was active.
Yeah, it was
wiggling.
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah, I did like that too. Yeah, I noticed that. That was fun.
But before we move on to the next segment, what is you guys' favorite cartoon? Josh, you made me think of this when you asked our favorite movie.
Oh man,
wow,
this is tough. This is harder than my favorite movie. I never even thought of this. Like my favorite movie, I could name my top 5 favorite movies, but like cartoon,
My favorite cartoon is a no-brainer. I've never told anyone this. Like nobody, not even some of my closest friends, like, no, this is I don't even watch this cartoon or it's a favorite. But my favorite cartoon is actually the Pink Panther.
Oh,
Really? From the 60s?
wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. Like when it's just the music, there's minimal talking, and it's just the Panther and Clouseau, nothing else. Aside, from when they change it up. But that's always been my all-time favorite cartoon.
It hurts me now. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I hate you. The thing is, like, one of my favorite shows, like my favorite that I'll constantly watch, ends up now being an anime because at the time when I was a kid, I didn't know what an anime was. It was a cartoon to me. So like I would constantly just watch Digimon. That's what I would do. I'll watch Pokemon or Digimon, but we would always be Digimon more.
Are you saying Digimon's your favorite cartoon? Is that what you're saying?
That's when I was a kid back then, yeah, but it's an anime.
What about
now,
right now?
To me now, I don't know. I was thinking about it would be more like it's a tough one because I used to watch Boomerang stuff back when I was a kid. It would be like more like my favorite was Flintstones and Scooby Doo, and it's really hard to pick. But I remember a lot more Flintstone for some reason. I do because I watch more of the like additional things. I even watched the Jetsons movie with them too. So I'll say the Flintstones.
I can't really give one answer. Like
It's hard, right?
Yeah, I really can't. I'll give you a few. I'll give you my top 4 or 5.
I'll take the top 5.
Yeah, okay. So the Simpsons, like the OG Simpsons, like seasons 1 through I don't know 10, when it was good. SpongeBob, OG SpongeBob. Batman the animated series, like / probably Superman the animated series, but Batman the animated series is a little better than Superman the animated series, but it's apples and oranges. What was the other one? Oh, the Max Fleischer Supermans. Those are definitely up there. So that's 4, or 5. I guess that's technically 5. So that's them. Definitely those.
We'll make a poll on our Instagram story of each of our top 5 cartoons, and we'll see who had the better childhood.
Oh man!
Oh god!
I'm saying right now, my childhood is gonna be undefeated because I've got some bangers in my top 5.
I don't even know anymore because like a lot of the shows I watched when I was a kid end up being like anime later on. So like, can I count them as one? I was a kid. It was a cartoon. Because I used to watch so much Speed Racer too in the midst.
Yeah, I can't give like a definitive
Gundam,
one answer.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll do this later. But
okay.
To follow in the footsteps of my fellow co-hosts and in the good spirit of Halloween, I wanted to end the month on kind of a more, different horror movie that I don't think a lot of people actually watch or even know of, which is Hellraiser. And I'm actually going to take the reins for once on this one with my own picks.
Okay, nice.
God.
So
this
is a different type of movie. It starts off with.
You picked this one.
Why are you really shocked?
From last week's episode with the fly and what happens in this movie,
I've never watched it. I didn't know.
Oh, you never seen this movie? Oh, okay.
I've never seen this. I was looking. I was like, I want to watch a horror movie that not a lot of people actually know of.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was curious about. I was curious, like, did Jerry see this before?
No, this was my first time ever watching it.
Okay. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
So the movie starts off with a gentleman talking to a shady figure about purchasing a unusual puzzle box. And as we can tell, the gentleman purchasing the puzzle box has kind of been through a lot because his hands are shaking, his fingernails are just absolutely gross and dirty. And before I go any further, that honestly irked the hell out of me. Why
Dirty
was every
fingernails?
single one of his fingernails just dirty, like he was playing in Spud
Oh.
like the mud? I honestly wanted to kill myself
Well,
because of
if
how
you
gross
learn
his
later,
nails are.
if you learn later in the movie, you see what his hobby was. So
Yeah,
what
I mean,
his
I
lifestyle was.
understand.
I assume that guy's one of the
Just
other hell
grimy.
spawns or something. I don't know, like one of the other
Yeah.
hell people, something like that.
But
I was taking him as
but you know, he takes the puzzle box back home. He sets up these candles. He unlocks the puzzle box, and then immediately chains and hooks sink into his flesh. And the next thing we see is a man with pins in his face that is
Pinhead.
making a puzzle out of the previous gentleman's face, and he recedes back into the puzzle box like nothing just ever happened. And as the movie progresses on, there is a husband and wife couple that move into his childhood home. And obviously, it was where the brother was staying. And they get in there. The house is kind of dirty, kind of fucking gross. It made me sick to my stomach because there was gnats, maggots, cockroaches, and other things going on. I'm not going to even get into because I'm really upset that I didn't know this happened, and I'm mad at myself. And so the wife goes upstairs.
Movie, man. Do your research.
So the wife goes upstairs and she finds the makeshift bed, I guess, where the husband's brother was staying, and she finds like all of his like Playboy pictures from where he was, having relations with all these different women. And she finds one of herself with him. And so she tears her head off and like puts the photo in her pocket before her husband can see it because she had an affair not too long after they got married because she's a whore.
Affair? Oh, it was a constant thing?
Yes, because she's a whore.
Yeah, that's what the flashbacks were, yeah.
No, it wasn't even a one-night fling. It was just like, bam, like every different event.
Yeah.
It felt like after she got married, she was constantly still doing it.
So, and then, as the movie progresses, the husband cuts himself on a nail, and, he's a hemophiliac or hemophobe. So he's just like horribly terrified of blood. So he's just like, I'm going to faint. I'm going to faint. He's looking for his wife to, clean and dress his wound. And she's just upstairs reminiscing about getting her cheeks clapped by her brother-in-law, which is gross. And then as the blood drips on the floor, we see that there's this shell with a heart in it, and it starts beating in response to the blood falling down. And we see this skeleton mummified zombie thing come into life. And so the wife hears like these noises going on. And so she goes into the room where it happened, and it turns out it is Frank, her brother-in-law, come back to life from his encounter with the puzzle box. And he tells her, don't look at me. You got to help me, bitch. You're going to turn me back into a man again, and I'm going to fucking drop my kids off at the swimming pool, and you're not going to say shit about it to me. And she's just like, no, I can't do it. And he's like, yes, you can. You're going to do it. And she's like, you're right. I am going to do it. And so she goes out and picks up random men, like some kind of low-class hooker, and brings them back to this dirty fucking room that nobody cleaned. And she just gets this claw hammer, this 6-ounce claw hammer, and just fucking whacks him. She whacks him upside the head, and he does this weird, like, vampire, this weird JoJo's Bizarre Dio vampire thing where he sticks his fingers in their neck and drinks their blood to, regain his form. And all the while he's doing it, he's like, I'm starting to feel my nerves again. I can taste. And then he finally explains what happens. He's like, I'm this way because of this puzzle box and these beings called the Cenobites. And they showed me things that I didn't think were even possible with both pain and pleasure, but I escaped them. You know, I'm not fucking going back. These people, they're fucking sick, because Frank's also a sexual deviant from having all this raw, unprotected sex with women, and he should be in jail. But
or have a bad sexual disease.
He should get chlamydia. No, he should get gonorrhea. Can't cure gonorrhea. And so as it just progresses on, you know, the wife, she's just getting more distant and just like, yeah, you know, I'm fine with killing these guys. I'm going to get my boyfriend back. And the husband, Larry, his daughter, Kirsty, she's just like, she's having all these nightmares and just these bad vibes about what's going on. And so she's just like, you know, Dad, are you okay? Dad, I want to talk to you. Like, she wants to protect her father. And she's honestly, the husband, Larry, was fucking stupid, because he should have known something was up with his wife. Like, always just being upstairs in this room. I'm like, I would have been like, okay, something's going on with this bitch. And so,
yeah,
you know, she, you know, his daughter gets suspicious one day and just follows the wife home, and she sees that she is taking, you know, one of the final victims up to meet his fate. And so she, you know, barges in the house, and she hears like all of the blood gurgling and absorbing going on. And the wife is trying to tell her, like, don't you go upstairs. Like, stop, Kirsty, stop. And so she goes in there, and she sees her de-skinned uncle just like absorbing this dude. And he's like, come to daddy. You're so beautiful.
Yeah,
you turned into such a gorgeous woman. I'm like, you are a fucking sick degenerate, and you should have died and stayed dead. And so she's freaking out, like, get that fuck away from me, you sicko. And so she grabs the puzzle box, and she's kind of like, she sees it's important, because he's like, give that thing to me, give it to me right now. And she's like, no, you want it? Yeah, you want this? You want it? And so she chucks it out the window, kicks him in the raw dick and balls, and just runs for her life, picks up the puzzle box. And so she passes out from just like the sheer psychological trauma. And so she's picked up, taken to the hospital. The police are going to question her because of all just the blood and shit that's found on her and the puzzle box. And so she also unknowingly activates and solves the puzzle box, summoning one of the Cenobites, or like one of their underlings, I guess you could call it. But then later on, like the actual,
no, I thought, never mind. Keep going.
And so then later on, the Cenobites, Pinhead, and the other sick freaks, I don't even know. They don't even have names. I just call them sick freaks. You know, they're telling her, like, you know, you solve the puzzle box. We're going to have a fun time together. And so she's like, wait. You know, you don't want me. And she's like, well, what about a man named Frank Cotton? Does that name sound familiar? Yeah, I bet it does, doesn't it? And they're like, what do you know of this man? And she tells him, like, you know, she's fucking squealing, like, you know, he escaped. He's living up in the upstairs house of my dad. And they're like, nobody escapes from us. And he's like, he escaped. I saw him. He's back in the world of the living. And they're telling her, like, okay. And they're making this deal that they're obviously not going to fucking honor. And they say, you know, if you take us to him and he confesses that he's Frank Cotton, we'll let you go and take him. And she's like, okay. And so she's, you know, she's running back home. She's, you know, obviously too late, because the wife takes her husband up there. Like, she's trying to stop all of it from happening, but she obviously is past the point of caring, because she sacrifices her loving husband to this sick zombie specter, and he, you know, eats his brother and like does a skinwalker thing where he just goes in his skin. Yeah, it's weird. And so then it's like, you know, now that Frank is in his brother's skin, he fucks his wife in his skin on their bed, and he's like, yeah, I'm back, baby, and better than ever. And so then the daughter gets there.
This is not Hess trucks. This is not the Hess commercial, you bastard.
And so then the daughters, she's just like, Dad, I'm so glad you're okay. I've been so worried. I got to get you out of here. Uncle Frank's back. He's going to kill you. Julia's a part of this whole scheme. She's just a fucking bitch. You need to divorce her. And he's just telling her, like, she doesn't know that her dad is now dead. So she's just, he's telling her, like, no, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Frank's dead. I killed him. And so she's no.
At that point, it really bothered me. Like, she didn't realize that, like, his fucking head was bleeding from like his cranium, like all the way around.
Yeah.
Like, that was really bothering me. Wouldn't she be at least concerned, like, Dad, what happened to your head? No line like that at all. She just kept on going with it. Like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is fine. But
yeah.
All right, go ahead, Jerry.
I was gonna get into that. And so then she's like, take me to the room where his body is. And so she goes up there, and then she sees like the fresh nuked corpse of her dad, and then Candles and the Cenobites show up, and they're like, bring us the man who did this, because they obviously fucking know, because nobody else could be able to do this. And I'm like, why don't you assholes do what the fuck you're supposed to?
The thing is, like, they want him to give himself away. They need him to give himself away so they can have 100%.
I know. And then it's like, it's this huge cat and mouse thing, because now Frank and Larry Skin has just stabbed Julia after being attacked by Kirsty. And he's like, well, the cat and mouse game's over, so I'm just going to fucking end your shit, bitch. And he pulls out the switchblade like some kind of Italian mafioso, and he's going in for the stab. Then Julie turns her back, and he just guts her in the stomach. And he's like, sorry, baby, nothing personal. And then he does the finger shit to her neck, and he's like, just drinking her blood, and she's just laying there like the fucking whore she is, just taking it. And so Julie, she's just freaking out. She's seeing all the corpses. She's leading him back to the corpse, and she's baiting him to confess to the Cenobites. And surely you would think, oh, there, it's done. No, the Cenobites are like, well, hold on. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Did you think we were just going to let you go? We have so many things to show you. We're going to have so much fun. And so then she's just like, get the hell away from me. This isn't what we agreed on. And so now she's fucking with the puzzle box, and she's doing all the intricate mechanisms of each respective demon or Cenobite, I guess, of each respective fucker to send them back to whence they came. And so she sends Pinhead, then is the dude with the vagina throat right here.
And okay, then, I got the names for you, actually. After we're done with this, I'm going to tell you all of them.
Thank you. And then it's then she does fatty 2x4 can't fit through the kitchen door. And then she sends like the Slimer ghost baby thing on the very last one. And so her and this dude that she's hooking up with, Steve, escape the house. Damn it, Steve. And so they're just setting a fire to everything, because they're like, man, fuck this. We've just obviously walked into hell. And so she throws the puzzle box down. And I also forgot there's this homeless dude who's just like, oh, what we got going on here, bitch? Oh, I'm going to follow you around. And so he reaches in the fire, pulls out the cube, and he turns into like this bone dragon thing and just flies off into the sunset. In the process, rinse, recycle, and repeat, because you can never stop evil. And that's Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
First problem, there was too much sex in this movie. I'm not a prude, but I'm not watching a horror movie to watch somebody get their fucking cheeks clapped.
Yeah, you know what? That was pretty disturbing. Well, not just like the sex part, like how they show the blood, and then it was like with the pleasure of sex at the same time, like when the father character was moving the bed up the stairs, like with the movers, and then like he's like, it flashbacks to her fucking his brother, and then like it shows him like pulling up the bed up the stairs, and like it's all this tension, and then like it's like this sexual urge and this just like liberation almost at that point, like with the blood at that point. I was like, I don't want to think about sex and blood in one thing. Like that like was really disturbing. Like it just like put me off. I was like, oh man. So this is gonna be this kind of movie, you know?
Oh God. Wow, this is the first time for both of you, right?
Yeah.
Oh God.
You seen this?
I've seen this multiple times. I've seen it
Why?
it's Halloween, man.
Why did you
I've
see it
seen,
more than once?
I've seen it multiple times. I've seen additional movies in the franchise. I would say if you want to stay true to the actual the Pinhead storyline, go 1, 2, 3. Don't go any further because it starts getting weirder. They start bringing back properly. I would say Pinhead properly. I think within like the middle of the series, then they should bring him back in properly again at the end. The last 2 movies that they just dropped in the last few years. But yeah, this is a weird movie. I remember seeing it like back in like high school. Actually, I remember watching it. It was on TV one time. And I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw that back when I was like when it first came out. I remember that it was a different movie." He's like, "That was a movie you couldn't really top that movie. You couldn't really do with the weirdness that was happening, the gore setup they were doing. He was stating that for the time period of this movie came out, nobody was really doing this much crazy like human body stuff and the chains and the ripping and the pulling. He says you got it here and there, but constantly throughout the movie, it was just different. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, actually, he's like, I enjoyed the movie series, but you only can watch a certain amount until you get tired of it because it just keeps getting on. Halfway, I would say, like, I think the best one that kind of doesn't follow the same suit would be the one with the house with, what's it called? It was some kind of guy's house. He would have a party every year, and he would, like, drug these certain victims, and he would have them kill themselves on their own will, on not their own will, acting with their own way. Like one guy killed himself with an asthma attack, but he was having a illusion that something was choking him. Another lady who had killed herself by cutting her throat open. It was weird. It was like psychological, weird drug manipulation. That was a pretty cool, decent one that they did. It was a different way. But with this movie, I've seen it so many times. I just don't like the guy's catchphrases. What was it? It was
Come to daddy.
Come to me, baby. Come to daddy.
Come to daddy.
It was not come to daddy. It just
fucking
kept
weird.
giving me eeriness. It was just.
It was
gross.
so
It was not.
He's
greasy.
the uncle.
It was just
He's the
gross.
uncle, so it doesn't. It's
Yeah,
just like, what the
it
fuck
is. It is.
doing?
Yeah, but I want to tell you the names of these guys for you, Jerry, so you can know their names.
Wait,
So
let me guess. Let me guess.
absolutely-
Let me guess before you do it. Okay,
Okay.
so there's vagina throat, which Jerry said. Butthole eyes.
No.
Needle face, pinhead. Well, pinhead is the one like sequential one that everyone knows. Like that's the
Everyone knows
most
him.
famous thing from this series. What was the other one? Teeth face. And was there another one, or was that it?
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
No, there's
I forgot
multiple.
about
There's 5.
fucking beaver teeth.
Yeah, beaver teeth.
There's at least I believe it's 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's 5.
Did we name them all?
No.
All right, go ahead.
So you
man.
definitely got Pinhead. So Pinhead, then the female one, it just literally says here is the female in like whatever the species is called, but AK Deep Throat. Butterball
Ew.
is the fat one with the sunglasses.
The butthole eyes.
Fatty 2x4.
Yep. The one with the just teeth. I actually like this one. I like the design. I like the teeth one a lot.
Yeah. This
I like
looks
the design
a
of that.
design I seen before. Like I seen this like kind of design.
I've
in
seen it
other
before
things.
too, but this is basically
This
where
is
a lot of
probably the
people like to
original-
mimic from.
Yeah, this is probably the original concept that it's from. But I
His
feel like
name
I've
is-
seen that before. The teeth, you know.
Yeah, I see it
Maybe
like
in,
a lot
like,
of
Ash.
new monsters that disturb people.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
it's more disturbing, like ripping off your lips, so you just see the teeth. and all that junk. It's
like, yeah,
so you're
it's in Lord of the Rings with the mouth of Sauron. That's like kind of reminiscent.
yeah, yep.
I feel like Ash vs. Evil Dead had a monster that looked like that. So yeah, this is probably like
There's
OG design.
I think there's a couple characters in Hellboy they did with that kind of design. I think it was Hellboy
Oh
2, they
yeah.
had somebody like that. I know in the comics they have kind of like similarities of those creatures, but his name is the Chatterer. Like Chatterer.
That sucks.
Like literally his name.
That's fucking
It's like,
unoriginal.
Yeah.
and then you got the Doctor.
Who's the Doctor?
You have the Doctor is the one with the one. He has the thing attached to his fucking head with all the slice marks on his face.
Oh,
His name is the Doctor.
Squares with the square. Wait, isn't that Pinhead though?
No, Pinhead just has the pins in his face. He has
but
his
he has
lines,
squares.
but he has the pins. Yeah, I know.
He has squares.
Finds out supposedly the Doctor is the first of them, but it looks like Pinhead is the main. It
He's
took
the
over
leader.
the whole reigns. He's the
Yeah.
lead.
So okay.
And then there's one more. Then you got Barbie. He's basically he was originally a barber at a boiler room nightclub, and then shit went crazy.
Yeah.
But that runs with the original, and then they go into the other additional ones they keep creating in the next movies. I'm not gonna go any further.
Please don't.
I know.
Please don't.
Yeah, this is a movie. Like, I don't know. I was like into the premise, like the beginning, I guess. I was trying to figure out what's going on, but like at least it gave you the answers as it continued. I wish with the Frank character, like the brother who was cheating on the dad's, second wife, like that was a little bit more established in the beginning, like his character, his relationship with his brother, and like he's like trying to kill his brother at a scene, and like there was no really connection that like really gave me like the feeling that they were once siblings at any point. Like they just seemed like random people. They had no correlation with each other at all. Like they'd never even met. Like there was no connection at all. Like that should have been established. Like that Frank like ruined their lives, and that's the reason why they're at this house at this moment or something like that.
Well, they keep mentioning stuff about the brother. They keep saying, "Oh, Frank used to live here."
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
I know they didn't go into depth.
It wasn't enough.
For a lot of it.
They
but
just
they kept mentioning
like one-off lines.
They kept on mentioning like how he supposedly how he lived his life is like how this house is basically left as, and he's like Frank just basically disappeared like he usually does. He'll probably come back, and he did. But the thing was with Frank, like the feeling went away because he wants to come back, and he says, "Fuck it, if I really want to come back, I don't care who I'm killing. I'll kill my brother. I'll do it whenever." I was just desperate to come back so he can keep living his
but he didn't even have that
life.
He didn't even say that. He didn't even say like "fuck it, I'll kill my brother." He just
I know, but like that's basically his
anyone.
mentality.
But like it didn't even seem like they had a connection in a previous lifetime. It was just like there's
the
nothing.
Thing is, like it felt like whenever they gave you the brother Frank to this brother that you had the father, there were totally two different like people. That Frank would go at his own beat of a drum, and the father would go at his other beat, and they didn't cross paths. I felt like the father, the husband, he was more like, I'm gonna stay in basically a normal lifestyle, try to keep straight, don't fuck my life up. Meanwhile, Frank is just like, I'm just gonna go do this every fucking night or do that every night, and he just didn't really want to keep tabs. The husband really didn't want to keep tabs on his brother that much.
Yeah,
he just knew his brother was doing that. So that's how like this movie.
My thing with the brother was that at what point does him and Julia ever like why is the correlation so strong between them? Like, okay, obviously she was having an affair, and when people have an affair, you start to have a deep like I gotta have it, like that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So
They're
it's
acting
like,
like they're
why was that
soulmates.
such a like the sole basis
Yeah.
of her killing these men for him instead of him, trying to blackmail her into like, if you don't do this, I'll summon the Xenobits on you,
That
or from
that would
beyond
have
the
mage more
grave,
sense.
I'll
The thing is, he
like
can't
I'll
I
summon
haunt you.
them.
would appreciate that more if like what you just said, Jerry, if they went that route
The thing
instead of
is-
just like their connection like was so strong that she's willing to kill for this corpse. Like it just didn't make
Well, the
any
thing is,
I know
like-
he can't summon it, but that would
Yeah.
make much more sense and fit. Like, okay, you have an affair, that's blackmail on you for the whole marriage. And
I agree.
And this compared to the 1986 Fly, the 1986 Fly just instantly bumped up to a fucking 9, Josh.
This is so much better. That is so much better. That movie's so much better than this.
Like,
so much
like when
better.
I know a little bit about Pinhead, and I'm like, he's the puzzle box demon. So I was
Right.
like, okay, so he's gonna, taunt or trick people into unlocking this puzzle box, which is what I was expecting. But this was just a smut film with horror.
No, he
And-
never tries to make people do anything. It's just the idiots find this puzzle box and solve it, and they get tricked into going to Pinhead's world. That's basically what happens.
I have a little more context for this movie. So there actually was a little bit of censorship for this movie, believe it or not.
Was
So,
it the ending
some-
when he explodes? Was it that part?
There is
That's
that
what
is
I
one
thought.
of them.
That's what I thought. That's like what I was like, okay, that they cut that really short when he like explodes at the end. That was the part I thought it was.
So there was 4 scenes that were cut to make it for the rated R film. So some of the shots where she killed the first victim with the hammer,
The hammer?
and one of
Oh, with
them
the
there was
jaw?
actually yes, like
Yeah.
there was actually a scene where like the claw part was just like she jammed it in his skull and he died. They cut that. And then there was also a part where the dude was half naked. Originally, he was all the way naked because the actor thought that would make more sense, which obviously, that does make sense, but they cut that and, had him be semi-clothed. And then the third bit of censorship was a close-up of Kirsty sticking her hand in Frank's stomach, like exposing all his guts and entrails.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
But it's this was a different type of gore fest because this was more, to me, this was gory, but it was also like a psychological grotesque because the only people who have ever summoned the Xenobits were obviously people who were like deviants in some sense of the word. And the daughter, she only did it because out of natural curiosity. But I also think like every time someone like touched the box, it was like, the call of the Xenobits was going to them, and it was like, sparking the natural curiosity to like just fuck with it like a fidget spinner. And I think
I'll say more Rubik's Cube, but
yeah, like a Rubik's Cube. But it's, I feel like because this movie was critically received in Britain, but less so in the US. And I feel like I understand why it did so poorly over here, because all you had was just mindless sex, morbidly just grotesque, like violence and the zombie thing. I thought the effects and everything were very well done,
Yeah,
top
I
notch.
agree.
The effects for me were a perfect 10 out of 10. The plot of the movie fell flat out of 1. The acting outside of the sex was also good, because when the wife was bringing in the men, she wasn't even seducing them. She was just going to lonely men and saying, "Hey, you looking for a fun time?" And that was just kind of it. She didn't say like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I have some repairs I need done at my house," and like kill the local fucking handyman like somebody would have done in the 1980s.
No,
And
she
I
went after
just,
like businessmen.
There was
yeah,
a
like
lot
she
of
went after men that people would know would be missing immediately.
Yep.
And it's for a lot of the
They're
dislike
all
I have,
loners.
I did enjoy the movie, but not as much as I enjoyed the 1986 Fly, which is now a 9.
Right.
I'm gonna
Oh
say
my
that
God. You gave that a now it's what is it officially a 9? Because what did
it's
you rate it last
officially a 9.
episode? Oh my
I think I
God.
gave it like a 7 or an 8. I'm
Yeah,
bumping
you
it
gave
up
it a
to a
7.
9.
Well, so what about the 57 Fly? That's still
I'll be right back, guys. I need to take a piss quick.
I got a piss too. I'm holding it.
I right now I can't.
The 1956 Fly is just gonna be a tie. It's gonna stay where I rated it. I think like it was an 8 or something.
Yeah, that was an 8.
But this is just like I don't mind, like a sex scene here and there, but the whole plot was basically the wife getting back her boyfriend for the mindless sex. It wasn't even like, oh, let's fuck with the Xenobits, like something that people fucking do when they see something. I don't know.
That's what I mean. I wish there was like Frank had a little bit more of a backstory. Like they show him in the beginning, and he's getting hooks like in the back, and you show this Rubik's cube box or the puzzle box or whatever it is, and you're just like you're out in the dark. You're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. You definitely connect the pieces later on, but I wish it was like his character was more established with this family. Like so you at
Yeah.
least know that there's like some sort of like clashing of like butting of heads with the father character, and like maybe if it was like it started out with Christy as like she was like a young 5-year-old, and then like he does something drastically horrible or something
some
like
kind
that,
of
and then
build
he gets
up. It was
that
just
there was no build up.
boom.
There was no
Just
build up.
boom, here you go.
That's what I mean. Like with the father character and Frank, there was no even relation like that. They were even brothers in any life, like it just seemed like just complete nothing. Like the things I do want to mention that I like you said, the special effects, the animatronics was really cool. Like that big fucking hell monster,
Beautiful.
that was neat. The makeup effects was really cool. I wonder. That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, I almost at first almost thought that it was like an animatronic, but I was like, no, there's someone underneath that makeup, especially like in the beginning scenes. So I was like, maybe they
talking
got
about
someone
Frank's face?
so yeah. Like when he was like
Oh.
basically a skeleton in the beginning, I was like, maybe they got someone so skinny that like they could put prosthetics like on top of them and they'll still, like it wasn't the face definitely didn't look like a full face. It looked like it was like sunken in, like the cheeks were sunken in. So I was very impressed with the makeup and all that. And the what are they called? The fucking devil people.
The Cenobites.
I want to say
Cenobites.
I want to say the xenomorphs, but that's obviously not true. I'll just say what are they called? Cenobites?
Yeah, Cenobites.
All right. The hellspawn people. They look cool. They look good. Like I like all their unique designs. But like Jerry said, like the story just kind of fell flat on its face. I did like the character Christy. I almost wish she was in it more, like in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I wish she had more to do. I mean, she
they kept giving her
she had a lot to do at the
excuses.
end. She had a lot to do at the end, but I wish she was almost established better in the beginning. Like I wish there was a better establishment with Frank and her and the father. I think that would have made the movie a lot stronger if they had at least a character relationship build up like within the beginning of the film. But it was just like kind of flat and there wasn't really too much connection between these characters. Besides Chrissy and her father, like I believe that relationship, that was really it. That was like the only relationship I actually believed. Like even the wife character, I like didn't even feel like she loved the husband at any point.
It wasn't until like the very end when he was going to die with that she showed some slight emotion, but she just disregarded it so quick that it was basically like she just put up a front. And I'm like, why are you doing this? For what? I just, out of all the characters, I really hated her the most.
Yeah, I did too.
She wanted the D, man.
Terrible.
She had the most screen time, and she was just nothing but a. She was nothing but a dick hungry bitch.
She did.
That's it.
I wish she had less screen time. I wish Christy had more screen time. I wish she had less. I
wish they built up the Cenobites up a lot more too.
Yeah, I agree. Like Pinhead is like the most famous character from this whole franchise, and like you watch this movie and you're like, he's barely in it. You know, like you would think he would be like a Freddy Krueger type, like he's in like he's like a progressive like demon throughout the whole movie, but like he's barely in this movie. He's just like one of the 5 soul demons that Matt named off that I can't even fucking remember their names. But like he's the one that you actually remember because like, oh yeah, he has pins in his head. He's Pinhead. That's an easy one. But Matt, what was the other one? Fucking
the Doc, Deep Throat, Shatterer, what is it? Butterball and Barbie.
See, those are all dumb.
It feels like a 6 one.
Like,
and it is dumb because it's you only hear 2 of them talk, which I guess is cool, but it's like the other one didn't really talk until the very fucking end, where she had the most lines, where it was like, oh, you thought we were done? No, get your ass back upstairs. We're gonna fucking hang you up and torture, pleasure you. And I'm just like, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, why? What is the point? Like, you honestly could have just had Pinhead and had the other people be like some of his like lieutenants or like,
it's like
like circle of people, and just had to be like, okay, you're in charge of this puzzle box. You're in charge of this puzzle box. You know, just kind of, I don't know. I wanted more from the movie, considering because when I saw Pinhead, I was like, oh yeah, that's Pinhead, because he was in the episode of the Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh, is he actually? Like an actual character?
He is.
They actually got Pinhead, or was it like a rip-off character? Like he's kind of Pinhead, but he's not. Like was it
they don't Pinhead? Call him Pinhead, but he's basically. I'll find the picture and send it to you, but he's basically just Pinhead.
Or is it like the Rick and Morty episode where they like find a Freddy Krueger-esque character, but it's not Freddy Krueger?
Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
Well, but it's just.
I'm
trying. I have so many dislikes with the movie that it's taken away from what I do like about it.
I agree. I have a lot more dislikes than the likes. Like I named all the likes I had, and that's it. It's a very short list. It's like 2 things. It's the effects, and that's it.
Yeah, him.
Oh,
that guy.
Okay.
His name is Pinface.
His name is Pinface.
Oh, okay. So it's like that. Okay.
But I think this is my favorite one, though.
That's Bert. What the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Why is it Bert?
That's Bert.
It's Bert.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that shit.
But I enjoyed the movie. Let me start off by saying that. I did enjoy the movie.
I would watch it again. I'll give you that. Yeah.
I would have to watch it again with somebody else who said they wanted to watch it. Because the overuse of sex and lust just it took away so much from a concept that I always loved. I love the whole here's an ancient item that could possibly be linked to another force of plane of existence. You know, so don't fuck with it or suffer the consequences.
You know what's a better example? Who did that in the same year, 1987? Evil Dead 2, which came out the same year, and that's immensely one of the best movies ever made. Like, it's so much better.
I've never even seen Evil Dead 2.
You never seen Evil Dead 2? Holy shit, Jerry! Oh my god, you never seen Evil Dead 2? Oh my god.
I've seen the first one, but whenever the second one would come on, I'd be at work, and we didn't have HBO at the time, so I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking ask my mom if I can buy this movie for $14.
Evil Dead 2 is amazing. That's one of my definitely top 5 movies.
Oh my god! I remember when. Okay, so I remember back in like
I'd much rather watch
middle school. I forget, it was when Josh first saw this movie, and he would just keep yelling at us, "You gotta see it! You gotta see it!" The thing is,
it's so good.
The thing is, in my house,
I love that movie.
My thing in my house was my dad saw all the movies, 1, 2, and Army of Darkness, but for some reason he never bought the movies other than Army of Darkness. So in my house we only had Army of Darkness. That's the only one I saw. And so Josh was like, "You ever seen the Evil Dead movie, Evil Dead 2?" And I'm like, "You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it." Just get screaming.
Oh my! I never thought this was a movie I had. I never thought this was a movie I had to recommend because I was like, I just assumed everyone's seen it. So I was like, oh, why would I recommend that? Everyone's seen that movie.
I want to watch it. I just never got the fucking chance because I love the first one.
Oh man, the first one is good. The first one is good. I seen the second one first, and then I seen the first one. The first one's good for its charm, like how it was made. And like what techniques they use and how they had like no budget. That's what makes the first one great.
Don't watch the
second
remake.
one. The second one,
I watched the remake and it was just awful.
I didn't see this. Awful. I didn't see the remake.
Oh my god!
Save yourself.
People swear to God, actually the remake's the best one of them all. But it's like out of place.
I think those are very few people.
It's weird. It's weird with people that say it is. The funny thing is, like, they actually take the main character. Ash's name's really Ashley, but they actually give it to they give all like Ash's stuff to like everybody throughout the movie. Stop flexing. They give like all the Ash's stuff to everybody, so it doesn't feel like it's just that Ash just got it. So like it merged things from like 1 and 2 for some reason to this movie. And then like the main person that gets the chainsaw is the woman actress, the sister that I don't know. I thought she died at one point in the movie and they bring her back. She's like a junkie.
Yeah.
And like she's like, she's a heroin addict.
She ODs and she's like legally dead, and then they hit her with like fucking 4 shots of adrenaline. So that shouldn't brought her back.
No, they didn't do that. They took her needles, they took her syringes, and they shoved her in their heart and fucking attached that shit to a car.
Oh yeah, they did do that.
They jump started her with fucking heroin.
I'm actually amazed that you never seen Evil Dead 2. I feel like that would be a movie you'd really like.
He's seen the bad one,
wish
but
I
not
would
the
have
good
said
one.
this one. I would have. No. I really wish. Like, I don't dislike my choice for this one because I've been wanting to watch this for a while.
I'm glad you picked it because there's always a movie, like you said, like it's always a movie I wanted to see. Because like, especially with Pinhead, that character is pretty iconic at this point. Like I seen a Halloween mask at Party City, not like literally last week. And I was like, okay, there's something to the series that makes it good. Mm-hmm. And there are good parts. I do like the regeneration of the corpse and like how the makeup is super like effective, like how it looks on screen.
I love how gross it looks.
So good, yeah. And like I was
even parts like when he was still regenerating, you saw like the slime of the heel of him.
Yeah,
it's showing that his body's
muscles,
healing,
like underneath the skin,
and all that
and
stuff.
like he's trying to touch the girl, like the wife, and like I'm like, don't touch him, ew, that's fucking gross. Like I was like
She's
audibly
sterile!
saying that
She's
while I was watching it.
sterile!
Oh my god. But
it's
there's a lot of detriments to this movie as well. Yeah,
the plot just fell short of what my expectations were.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
I
was like
agree.
kind of like Cool World. This was like
Yes,
a horror
the
version of Cool World.
the concept is great, but execution wise, it kind of falls flat. It kind of hit every note it does hit. Like even the cinematography is pretty good. The effects are pretty great. It's just a story. There's not a lot to it that like makes
There's no
logical
meat.
sense.
It's
And
just bread.
I completely agree. And the okay, so Christy, there's a few things I want to get to. So Christy works at a fucking a pet shop, and there's fucking monkeys in there. How's there monkeys in a pet shop?
Where are there
Pet
monkeys?
store.
Okay,
Exotic pet
but
store.
here's my rebuttal.
Where do you think where do you think in The Fly where they got those damn baboons? Her exotic pet store.
That's a little different because at least like I even thought that was kind of weird in The Fly, but at least in that, like he's a scientist, so he would have like access to like more sophisticated
You didn't see the cougar
animals.
in the vest,
It's not
man.
just like a pet
Obviously,
shop.
San Francisco, California.
Yeah. It's not like just a pet shop where like a fucking 10-year-old kid could buy a fucking monkey, like this is like a sophisticated scientist at that point.
You never had those kind of pet shops? Come on now.
No.
The pet shops I've been to have fucking reptiles, fish, and turtles, like a normal pet shop.
Right.
Isn't a turtle a reptile?
I said they've had like iguanas, lizards, geckos,
Okay.
and they have turtles.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole, Matt.
Yeah, fuck you, Matt. Well, okay, she works at a pet shop. There's monkeys there. What is up with the hobo who follows her? Because the
hobo
fucking ending doesn't make no fucking sense. Like
the hobo is another messenger for the Cenobites.
That's what
because
he was.
It's a
He
bone
turns into
dragon.
a dragon. He turns into a fucking dragon. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That's when I lost like all hope for this movie.
Yeah,
like when it turned into a dragon, I was like,
I thought he was gonna be something more. I thought he was gonna be like Pinhead in like the flesh, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm scoping out my next victim.
At least it connected to the story, but it was just like a fucking dragon that shows up out of nowhere, and like
they could have just saved that.
Like, why? Okay, so she's like burning the cubicle or whatever, the cube box.
Okay.
The hell box. Where is she?
For you.
Where is she burning that box? Like, it's just like in the middle of the city.
It's the house.
Is it at the house?
It's the house.
Because it looks like it's like in the middle of the city. I was like, this can't be the house because the house wasn't located in the middle of the city like this. Like once they show all these fire pits, like it doesn't look like the same location at all. So it looked like it was just like in the middle of the city in an open field. I was like, where the fuck is this? Because it didn't even look like the same location at that point.
Okay, so that dragon creature is actually the puzzle.
I don't even care. I don't even care what the fuck its name is. I didn't
even say the name. It's just a puzzle guardian. There's no real name to him. He has to keep the puzzle in bound of him. He has to keep guard of it. So that's why he's there. So the puzzle was in the house of the, what's it called? In the house of her father, well, uncle's father's house.
Uncle
so he's
Frank.
trying to keep an
Uncle Fuck.
So he was probably trying to keep an eye on her and see if she had it or was still at the house. So it just had multiple. It was just trying to pinpoint where this puzzle piece is. It looks like, and it's only the one thing that's good about it. It stays only in the original trilogy. It's nowhere else. So it gets everything that's been happening in this movie, the second movie, third movie cuts off. And the rest of the movies are just like one-shotters, basically.
I honestly
I'm done.
I honestly
I'm
am
done with
scared
the
of what the
series.
sequels could be.
Yeah, I am so done with this.
The one that made me cringe the most was definitely. I thought it was the newest one. The newest one is something else I haven't seen yet. It was I think it was a 2011
I'm gonna pee.
or something like that. All right, you can do that.
All right.
That one, I think it's that one is more the cringier one because it's fucking weirdo. Because it's more cringier because it's the boyfriend. This family has it's like a family of like 4. There's the daughter's boyfriend is best friends with the son. So they go to Mexico. They do their thing in Mexico, and finds out what's it called? The boyfriend finds the puzzle, gets sucked into the puzzle, comes back out of the puzzle. Basically, the son does the same shit that the ex-wife does prior, but he was the last piece, and the boyfriend takes over the brother's body and tries to force his way through the family and kill them and try to keep away from the beings and Pinhead and everybody. And he tries to force his way on the sister and I think the mother. It was just more got cringy and dark and gross with that shit.
I would say
the
like
best.
this, I just feel like this whole incestuous, like forced assault is just uncalled for. Because
I think that's how the second one goes too.
This is like
more
the story
sex.
of mysticism and demons. So make it about mysticism and demons.
The thing is, the second one brings that more out a little bit more. You do get the sex and shit, but there's more the back of it, more creatures and stuff happening. I think that involves them introducing the Chatter Beast as basically Chatter's the Chatterer's monsters he has on his hands. They actually create a new being inside of that movie from one of the cameramen. It's basically the point of views on a newscaster, and she has a cameraman that ends up getting like transformed into one of them and has a fucking camera for a fucking eye, like a camera lens. It's fucking weird. And they introduced more to the backstory of it. I trying to remember 3, but I can't.
You don't have to. Don't worry.
I don't want to think.
I'm honestly ready to stop talking about this film.
I am so done. I am so done with this series. I am done after this one. I don't need to see any of the sequels unless one of you fucking forces me to. I don't want to see them.
That's Josh, right, because my choice is this one.
Josh, go ahead and hit us with your final thoughts and rating, please.
Oh man. Okay. Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like I said enough, but I feel like I didn't say enough about this fucking movie at the same time. Okay, the makeup is great. The effects are great. The story sucks. Christy, I like her character. I wish she was in it more. Fucking the hobo guy, I wish he had a more connection to the story itself. Like there was no connection at that point. All in all, like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, this is a solid 7." And then, once the ending happened, I was like, "Okay, this is a 6." I give this a 6. It lowered itself on the scale while I was watching it. I would watch it again with someone else. I don't think I would watch it again by myself. This is a light recommendation if you want to like watch this with a group of people, maybe, like I feel like that would be funner than watching it alone. That's how I viewed it. I don't know if you guys saw it with other people.
I watched it by myself.
Yeah,
I don't think it's not a group thing. I don't think.
It's better with another person, I think, than alone.
The thing is, like,
I'd rather watch
these movies are like they have the sex cringe stuff in it. I feel more awkward with that than anything. So if I'm like, oh, let's watch Hellraiser. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you about these sex things. I'm gonna feel even worse.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta watch it with the right people, I guess. But
so, I don't know. It feels like you have to give them all the bells and whistles before you can fucking watch it.
I guess. I don't know. If you just say, "Oh, we're watching a horror movie," I don't know.
Yeah, then surprise.
What are you? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Your final
Matt?
thoughts and rating? We're just gonna go down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, with me, I've seen so many of these, and it's just like, I don't know. I enjoy watching them. They're not bad. They're not good either. It just hits in the middle, and I will say that I'll give it like a 5.5, 6 rating. It's not overly crazy. It's not my favorite one. Yeah, I watched probably at least 5 or 6 out of the 11, 12 movies. Yeah, see? Out of that many movies, I basically watched probably half of them, and like I only have like one real favorite out of any of them. And due to my result of like ever watching them was thanks to a Sci-Fi Channel doing a marathon, or was it on HBO or something like that. One of the two did a marathon, and that's how I just got most of the movies out of the way. But yeah, I would say I liked the special effects, the story. Like Josh says, it isn't there, but like you have to pay attention more to their little details to try to get something out of it. They don't explain the most things. And yes, do the Pinhead's like superly famous fucking everywhere. You assume he would be in it more, but from my experiences, he's not really in a lot of them. He's really not in all of them that much. He's really screen time's very limited with him. There's not that many screen time of him being like 30, more than like I think 10-minute screen. I think he's lacking. Like I said, like I would give it maybe like a 5.5, 6 rating. It's not my go-to. I'm gonna watch it multiple times. I've seen it multiple times. Yes, I'm not gonna fucking watch it every time. I find it on TV and I'll watch whatever is going on with it.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real honest.
You're going with
Before I give my rating, I'm gonna say this. Once you look past once you look past a lot of like the cringy sex and just overuse of lust between some of the characters, there is something that's good about this movie.
There are good things.
The effects are top notch. The effects and the animation and the makeup were honestly the most iconic parts of this movie because I know I've seen them used 400 times over in other instances with a much better plot. If I was to make this movie, I would change 98% of it.
Damn.
I would change 98%.
You're basically rewriting it.
I would, like Josh
it.
said, the daughter and Pinhead and even the father and the uncle, I would give them more of a backstory or like a deeper connection than random uncle, daughter from first marriage, new wife. I need a little more plot than just all of that. This isn't a movie, like Josh said, that I would wholeheartedly recommend. I would definitely say, unless somebody else wanted to watch this, I'm not going to tell you to watch it. This is on the lower end of recommendations for me.
Yeah.
But even still within that, this was like, if you're wanting a different horror experience with stupid people, if you want to watch stupid people in a horror movie with great everything else, this is it. And if that's your thing, then by all means, watch this. As far as a rating, I got to give this a solid 5. I might even drop it to a 4.5 because the overuse for me, it was just the lack of plot and the overuse of sex, because it didn't even fit anything. At least with the goddamn fly, it made sense because the woman had a half human, half fly hybridized fetus growing inside her.
It affected the plot. Yeah. There was
And
something to it.
Used as a plot device to try to bring fucking Jeff Goldblum back to his humanity, but ultimately did not. But this was just like, hey, you want to have sex? I don't know. I said, do you want to have sex? Yes, I do. That's exactly what it was. And he put his fucking disgusting zombie meat fingers all on that woman's face, and she was perfectly fine with it and licking it and putting it in her mouth. That was gross, and that's unsanitary.
Yeah, that was nasty. The reason why I give it a 6 and not a 5 is just because of the effects. Like, the effects were so superb. I was like, okay, I got to give it at least a point for that. So that's why I'm a 6. But
if it wasn't for the effects, this would be an easy 3 for me.
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
I'm probably with you. I agree with. I 100% agree with you. Like, on all merits. Like, I feel like I feel like I'm with Jerry on everything with this movie.
I never said I wasn't.
I know me and Matt are usually more like, it had its, like, bad moments, but this was like everything was bad for me until literally the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. I wish Christy was used more. If she was going to be such a big,
I would have loved it if, like,
character,
the dude Steve was one of the Cenobites, because it's like, here's this dude
if he was like
interested
Deep Throat or freaking Chatter, like if he ends up turning into them.
Like, that would have been, it would have been funny. I would have been like, okay, that's kind of comical, but like, no, you just had sex crazed, Uncle Daddy Frank. Hey, come here, baby. Santa's got I got a lance you can sit on, fair maiden. And I've already said it. The overuse of sex just detrimented this movie too much, to the point where I'm forced to, acknowledge it, and I can't look past it. At least with The Fly, it made sense because, he was turning into a fly. The only thing he could think about was, I got to mate with someone. I have to spread my seed. I have to further the population of my
animalistic.
species.
Yeah, animalistic.
That made sense. And honestly, now that I think back on it, that movie is 4 times better than this garbage.
Well,
I would honestly rewatch The Fly, 1986.
I'm glad you appreciate that movie more. I mean, I didn't expect this movie to be that reason. Oh my god. Yeah, you picked this. You did pick this. But I understand why you picked it. It's like, it's a franchise that you hear about and you're like, all right, I know Pinhead. I didn't know this was the movie. I thought Pinhead would have had a bigger part.
Because Pinhead just got added to Dead by Daylight as one of the killers. So I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. Because, it's like Scream. Everybody fucking knows Scream.
Yeah, yeah.
Scream, Leatherface, Ghostface. Come on.
Yeah, Scream is good. This is something else.
But before we end this out, Josh, do we have any announcements for the upcoming episode, or is this the special guest episode, or is this
No, this is Matt's. This is Matt's choice for next episode.
All right, Matt.
No, I told you on the text. I said no, we'll do Matt's choice next week, and then we'll do the guest next week. You don't have your choice. I have my choice for like weeks from now. Like I already know what I want to do. No. We don't have a guest next episode. No. No guest next episode. Just come up with it on the spot. Just do it right now. Just do it right now. Just throw it out there.
Thank you.
No, that's cheating. Yeah, it is. That's not improvising. That's the total opposite of improvising. Yeah, improvising would be if you come up with it on the spot. That's improvising.
All right, everybody. This has been BatYard's Finest, closing you out with our Halloween wrap-up of Hellraiser and Jacked Up Halloween. I'm Jerry the Green Lantern, dressing up as an improvised Johnny Bravo, and this way. On my left.
I'm Josh from BatYard Productions, sending you off up and away until next BatYard's Finest episode.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night. I love Jerry. Oh, is this still up? Wait, what the hell? Why is this still going?
It's still going?
I keep stopping it. It's not going.
Transition noises.
It won't let me stop the stream. It's just we're forever.
Transition noise.
Why isn't it letting me stop this? It's really not letting me stop. It won't let me stop the stream. It said request failed, status code 401. Like I fucking know what that means. Okay, well, I guess we're live. What if I just X out? Are we not live anymore? All right, I'm just gonna X. I'm gonna leave. Let's see.